Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 44a, top of the page with the word Achan. Achan Maitama Ianush, Mishum Dahavyadi Be Ishto Vanav. What is the reason that in the case of Achan, they were punished? The Gemara answers Achan's offense was not a hidden matter because his wife and children knew about it, and they did not protest. Chata Yisrael, Amar Rabbi Abba bar Zavda, Afal pi shechata Yisrael hu. Amar Rabbi Abba hainu diamrin shiasa deka beni chilfe asa shmei ve'asa karule. When God explained to Joshua the reason for the Jewish people's defeat at the city of Ai, he said, Israel has sinned. Joshua 7:11. Rabbi Abba bar Zavda says, from here it may be inferred that even when the Jewish people have sinned, they are still called Israel. Rabbi Abba says this is in accordance with the adage that people say, even when a myrtle is found among thorns, its name is myrtle, and people call it myrtle. וגם עברו את בריתי אשר ציוויתי אותם גם לקחו מן החרם גם ככה שגם שמו בכליהם אמר רבי הילה שום רבי יהודה בר מספרתה מלמד עבר אחן על 5 חומשי תורה שנאמר 5 גם. The verse in Joshua continues, they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them, and they have also taken the dedicated property, and also stolen, and also dissembled, and put it among their own goods. Rabbi Ilah says, in the name of Rabbi Yehuda bar Masparta, this teaches that Achan also transgressed all 5 books of the Torah, as the word also is stated here 5 times. So Gam is 43. So 43 times 5 equals 215. 215 is something to think about. Gam. Also. What about also? Also equals 47. Okay. Weiter. Ve'amar Rabbi Ilah mishum Rabbi Yehuda bar Masparta Achan moshech be'orlato moshech be'orlaso hoyo. Okay, what's the gematria of that? Moshech be'orlaso is gematria 1074. Oi. Okay. Ksiv hachar v'gam avru es brisi uksiv hasam es brisi hafir. Rabbi Ilah says further in the name of Rabbi Yehuda bar Masparta, Achan, in addition to his other evil actions, would stretch his remaining foreskin in order to conceal the fact that he was circumcised. I don't understand how that's done. If he's circumcised, he's circumcised. And how do you schlep it that it stays? I have no idea. This I never understood. I never understood Moshe B'Orla, so it could just be maybe euphemism for Shlach and the Oizel. But an allusion to this offense is found in the wording of the verse. Here with regard to Achan, it's written, they have also transgressed my covenant, and there with regard to circumcision is written, he has violated my covenant. Genesis 17:14 Pshita Mahu d'tema mitzvah gufi lo pakal Kamash Belon. The Gemara asks, isn't it obvious that he concealed his circumcision? Rabbi Ilah said that he transgressed all 5 books of the Torah. The Gemara answers, lest you say that while Achan transgressed all 5 books of the Torah, With regard to a mitzvah relating to his own body, such as circumcision, he did not act irreverently. Rabbi Ela teaches that he sinned concerning this mitzvah as well. Rabbi Abba bar Zavda Malamin Shibal Achan. Now I'm also Ksiv HaVichiyasa Navala Ksiv Hasam Kiyasa Navla Israel. With regard to Achan, the verse states, and because he has committed a wanton deed in Israel, Joshua 7:15. Rabbi Abba bar Zavda says, this teaches that Achan engaged in sexual intercourse with a betrothed young woman. This offense is also alluded to by the wording of the verse. Here, with regard to Achan, it is written, and because he committed a wanton deed, and there regard to betrothed young woman who committed adultery, it is written, because she has committed a wanton deed in Israel, to play the harlot in her father's house. Deuteronomy 22:21. Pshita ma'uditim b'kulihai lo pakar nafsheh kamash milan. Ravina maradina kanara marasa b'skila. The Gemara asks, isn't it obvious? Does Achan transgress the entire Torah? The Gemara similar answers, lest you say that he did not act irreverently to such an extent. Rabbi Abba bar Zavda teaches us that he paid no heed even to this prohibition. Ravina said this verbal analogy does not teach what Achan's offense was, rather it teaches what his punishment was, like that of a betrothed young woman who committed adultery, for which she is executed by stoning. Ksiv vayikach Yehoshua es Achan ben Zerach ואת הכסף, ואת הדרס, ואת לשון הזהב, ואת בניו, ואת בנוסף, ואת שורו, ואת חמורו, ואת צאנו, ואת אוהלו, ואת כל אשר לו, אם הוא חטא, בניו ובנוסף, מה חטאו. The Exilarch says to Rav Huna, it is written, and Joshua took Achan, son of Zerach, and the silver and the mantle, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and all Israel with him, and all Israel stoned him with stones, and they burned them with fire, and stoned them with stones. Joshua 7:24-25. If Achan sinned, so that he was liable to be stoned, did his sons and daughters also sin, that they too should be stoned? Amar le uletamech uchata kol ish Yisrael ma chatau dichtiv kol Yisrael limo ela liradotan achanami kedei liradotan. Rav Huna said to the Exilarch, and according to your reasoning, that Achan's family was also punished. If Achan sinned, did all of Israel sin? As it is written, and all of Israel with him. Rather, Joshua took all of the people to the valley of Achol, not to stone them, but to chastise them and strike fear into their hearts by making them witness the stoning. So too, he took Achan's household there in order to chastise them. וישרפו באוסם באש ויסקלו אותם באבנים בתרתי. אמר רבינו הרוי לשרפה לשרפה הרוי לסקילה לסקילה. With regard to Achan's punishment, the verse states, and they burned them with fire and stoned them with stones. The Gemara asks, did they punish him with two punishments? Ravina says, that which was fit for burning, meaning an item of clothing, was taken for burning, and that which was fit for stoning, meaning an animal, was taken for stoning. וערב ושלל הדרס שינר אחת טובה 200 שקלים ו200 שקלים כסף. הרב אמר איצטלה דמתלתה שמואל אמר שר ולד צריפה. In his confession, Achan states, and I saw among the spoil a fine mantle of Shinar, and 200 shekels of silver. Joshua 7:21. Rav says a mantle of Shinar is a cloak of choice of wool. And Shmuel says it is a garment dyed with alum. ויציקום לפני השם, אמר רב נחמן, בוא וחבטם לפני המקום. אמר לפניו שלא אלא מה לאלו תיהרג רובה של סנהדרין. דכתיב, ויעקו מהם אנשי העי כ36 איש. בתניא 36 ממש. דברי רב יהודה, אמר לו רבי נחמיה, וכי 36 היו, והלא לא נאמר אלא כ36 איש. אלא זה יאיר בן מנשה, ששקול כנגד רובה של סנהדרין. With regard to the spoils that Achan took for himself, the verse states, and he laid them out before the Lord. Joshua 7:23. Rav Nachman says, Joshua came and cast down the spoils before God. Joshua said to him, Master of the universe, was it because of these small items that the majority of the Sanhedrin were killed? As it is written, and the men of Ai smote them about 36 men. Joshua 7:5. And it is taught in a Braita, 36 men literally were killed. This is the statement of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Nehemiah said to Rabbi Yehuda, but were they precisely 36 men? Didn't it state only about 36 men? Rather, this is a reference to Yair, the son of Menashe, who was killed and who was himself equivalent in importance to the majority of the Sanhedrin, meaning 36 men. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rav, by dichtiv tachanunim, yidaber rash ve'ashir yaneo azot. Tachanunim yidaber rash ze Moshe, ve'ashir yaneo azot ze Yehoshua. Rav Nachman says, the Rav says, what is the meaning of that which is written? The poor man speaks in treaties, but the rich man answers with impudence. Proverbs 18:23. The poor man speaks with entreaties. This is a reference to Moses, who addressed God in a tone of supplication and appeasement. But the rich man answers with impudence. This is a reference to Joshua, who spoke to God in a belligerent manner. Okay. My time ilem mishum dichtiv. ויציקום לפני השם, אמר רב נחמן בא וחבטם לפני המקום. עטו פנחס. לא עבד הכי, דכתיב ויעמוד פנחס, ויפלל ותצל מגפה, ויאמר רבי אלעזר, ויתפלל, לא נאמר אלא ויפלל, מלמד שעשה פלילות עם קונו. בא וחבטם לפני המקום, אמר לפניו, ריבונו של עולם, על אלו יפלו 24,000 מישראל. דכתיב ויהיו המתים במגפה 24,000. The Gemara asks, what is the reason that Joshua is considered to have answered God with impudence? If we say that it is because it is written, and he laid them out before the Lord. And Rav Nachman says that this means that Joshua came and cast the spoils down before God as a part of his argument. This is difficult. Is that to say that Pinchas did not act the same way in the incident involving Zimri and Cosby? As it is written, then stood up Pinchas and executed judgment, and the plague was stayed. Psalms 106:30. Rabbi Elazar says, and he prayed is not stated, rather, and he executed judgment is stated, which teaches that he entreated into judgment together with his Creator. How so? He came and cast Zimri and Cosby down before God, and he said to him, Master of the universe, was it because of these sinners that 24,000 members of the Jewish people fell? As it is written, and those that died by the plague were 24,000. Numbers 25, verse 9. אלא מהכה. למה עברת העביר עשם? אז זה סייע לי משה. נעמי ממר אמר. למה הריות? למה זה? That was just my question. I was thinking. אלא מהכה. ולו הועלנו ונשב בעבר הירדן. Rather, Joshua's belligerence is seen from this verse. See how much time we have? Okay. Rather, Joshua's belligerence is seen from this verse. Why have you brought this people over the Jordan? Joshua 7:7. as if he were complaining about God's treatment of Israel. This too is difficult. Moses also said a similar statement. Why have you dealt ill with this people? Why is it that you have sent me? I don't know why this is a problem, because it says Vayidaber Elokim. So it was treated as, why is it that you have sent me? Exodus 5:22. Rather, Joshua's belligerent is seen from here. From the continuation of the previously stated verse in Joshua, which is, would that we have been content and remained in the Transjordan. He said, Velu ho'alnu v'nei shebever Yarden. That was the complaint. Vayomer Hashem el Yehoshua kum lach darish Rav Sheila אמר לי הקדוש ברוך הוא שלך קשה משלהם. אני אמרתי והיה בעבורכם את הירדן תקימו. אתם ריחקתם 60 מיל. With regard to the verse that states, and the Lord said to Joshua, get you up, why do you lie down this way in your face? Joshua 7:10. Rav Sheila taught in a public lecture, Droshe, the Holy One, blessed be He, said to Joshua, your own sin is even worse than that of the other Jews who sinned. As I said to the Jewish people, and it shall be when you have gone over the Jordan that you shall set up these stones. Deuteronomy 27, verse 4. And you have already distanced yourself 60 mil from the Jordan River, and you have yet to fulfill the mitzvah. Basar dinfak okem brav amora ale udrash. Kasher tzivah Hashem Moshe avdo, ken tzivah Moshe et Yehoshua v'chen asa Yehoshua lo hisir devar mikol asher tzivah Hashem et Moshe. After Sheila finished his lecture and went out, Rav, who had been present but remained silent, placed an interpreter alongside him, who would repeat his lecture in a loud voice so that the public could hear it. And he taught, the verse states, as the Lord commanded Moses' servant, so did Moses command Joshua, and so did Joshua, and left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. Joshua 11:15. This indicates that Joshua could not have been guilty of a grave offense, such as delaying in setting up the stones. Imkain, Ma Talmud Lomar Kum Lach, Amar Lo, Ata Giramta Lehem, Behaina Ridik Amar Le Bai, Asita Le'ai, Ule Malka, Kasher Asita Diricho Ule Malka. And if so, the Gomer, if so, what is the meaning of the verse that states, get you up, hinting that Joshua was in fact responsible for some transgression? The matter should be understood as follows. God said to Joshua, you caused the Jewish people to sin, as had you not dedicated all the spoils of Jericho to the tabernacle treasury, the entire incident of Achan taking the spoils improperly would not have occurred. And this is what God said to him, and I, and shall do to I and her king as you did to Jericho and her king, only its spoil and its cattle shall you take for prey to yourselves. Joshua 8:2, instructing Joshua that the Jewish people should keep the spoils. ויהי בהיותו יהושע ביריחו, ויזען וירא וגומר, ויאמר לו, כי אני שר צבא השם. אתה באתי, ויפול יהושע על פניו, ארצה וישתחו. היכי אביד הכי. ואמר רבי יוחנן, אסור לו לאדם שיתן שלום לחברו בלילה, חשין שם השד הוא. The verse states, and it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man stood over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, are you for us or for our adversaries? And he said, no, but I am captain of the host of the Lord. I have now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and bowed down. Joshua 5:13 and 14. The Gemara asks, how could Joshua do so, bowing down to a stranger at night? But doesn't Rabbi Yochanan say it is prohibited for a person to greet another whom he does not recognize at night, as we are concerned that perhaps the one he doesn't recognize is a demon? Why was Joshua not concerned about this possibility? Shani Hasam de Kamalei Ani Sar Tzva Hashem Atabati V'Dilma Mishakri Kimeri Dilo Mapki Shem Shemayim Levatana. The Gemara answers, it is different there. As the stranger said to Joshua, I am captain of the host of the Lord. I have now come. The Gemara asks, but perhaps he was in fact a demon and he was lying. The Gemara answers, it is learned as a tradition that demons do not utter the name of heaven in vain. And since this figure mentioned the name of heaven, he must have been speaking the truth.